All right, you guys, welcome to our Inside the What is Coaching call. We love to do these things. Honestly, it always jazzes me up to share my story and to hear from other women in this business that I respect and love so much. But yeah, welcome. I am Rachel Mitchell. I have been a coach with Team Beachbody for 7.5 years now. That always is so crazy to say. So if you ever wonder if network marketing works, I am living proof that it does. So, it works long term. I am so honored to talk to you tonight. You have to forgive my messy look. We've been sick with the thing that everybody else in the world has, but we're here showing up, and I'm so happy to be because honestly, my life looks so different today, 7 years from when I started as a client, as a coach. And it is just honestly and truly, it is a joy and it's an honor to tell my coaching story and to invite people to do this with us. Because when I started, I was just a mom of two small boys who was unhealthy. Really and truly, I was unhealthier inside than I appeared to be on the outside. And I was just looking for something that would help me be a more present mom. I didn't want to leave my home to go to a gym. I didn't really do much at the gym besides ride the elliptical. I didn't really want to talk to people or interact with people. I just want to get in, get out, get it done. I didn't really never considered that I had a problem with eating. Now, obviously, I know that like binge eating, volume eating was very much a struggle for me. And it wasn't until I hit like 33 and stopped having children and nursing and all those things, and my hormones started to change, that really caught up with me. And I always say that God used that. I started to gain weight. He got me with vanity for and I needed something to lose the weight. And just honestly, I did want to feel better about the choices I was making. And I found Beachbody, and I didn't know anything about Beachbody. I'd never done a Beachbody program, didn't even know it was called Beachbody. But I found the 21 Day Fix and ordered the DVDs, popped them in, did the workouts, like used the containers, and it worked. And I was like, wow, this is something that I could really do long term. And I could honestly, truly, I really wanted to lead my family by example. No diets, no fads, no quick fixes. And Beachbody was it. And so I found something that worked for me. And when my coach asked me to be a coach, I didn't think I could do it. I was very fearful about what people would think. I didn't use social media at all. And I saw her on social media a lot. And I thought I'd have to figure that out. I don't have time. We needed money quick. So I wasn't really starting coaching for the income. We were definitely like living paycheck to paycheck with two small boys, lots of medical expenses, daycare. I was a teacher, Matt was a counselor. We didn't make a lot of money, but I loved the program. Like I loved the workouts. I loved the nutrition. And it saved me a little bit in some way. And God also used it to start to refine my faith, to grow my faith, and really invite him into this process. And I thought if I could do that for one person just by posting on social media, just by like running a challenge group 1 month, like it would be worth it. And so I honestly started as a coach with no expectations of being here 7.5 years later, but here I am because God had other plans. But these gals are going to share parts of their story that will cover different pieces of this business. But I want you to know from my story that, I am nobody. Like I didn't have a big following. I'm not an influencer. I live in a tiny town in Mississippi. Like I didn't have people like a whole long list of people I was excited to invite when I became a new coach, but I was very coachable. My coach told me what to do and I did it. I used the pockets of my day that I used to use for scrolling. I was on social media, like watching people. I just wasn't posting. I use my lunch break that I used to walk around the mall. I quit watching Friends at night so I could work my business. And I was very coachable. I made the time to work the business and it naturally grew. I worked a lot for a little in the beginning, but that first paycheck of $75 was like life to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I can earn $75, I could do it again and again and again and again, right? Team Beachbody does not guarantee any level of income. Each coach's income is definitely dependent on your effort and what you put into your business. But it's possible. And so don't count yourself out before you even start. Don't let fears stop you, and trust us. We tell our teams a lot, borrow our belief that this works, that it's good, and that it can change your life. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to my friend Shannon and let her tell you her story and just some of her limiting beliefs too.
Thank you so much. My name is Shannon. I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I have 2 boys who are 4 and 2, and I am an attorney and a wife to my husband, Barker. I always felt like professionally there was a way for health to fit into a busy life. When I had my first kid, I had some postpartum depression that really underscored for me the importance of health, but I kept scheduling classes and couldn't make it. I kept falling off the wagon, and I saw some people in my feed who were doing what appeared to be, online workouts at home. And I said, let me try that. And I just knew from the get-go when I completed my first program that this was something I had to offer to other people. And I knew that God had given me a desire for more, but I wasn't sure what that looked like. And I wanted to share, and coaching gave me the platform to do that. So I'm an in-house counsel for a large association for sheriffs and deputies here, but in the pockets of my day, on my lunch break, in the morning and in the afternoon, I pour into my challenge group, lead others, and share tips about health. And it's honestly kept my family healthier. It's kept me on the wagon. Before I got started, some of the things that you might be thinking, I was thinking too, which was, how can I work in a professional setting and be like this health coach? Like, will people take me seriously? Will people think I'm weird? Will people think I'm like oversharing? But what I've realized is that people really need, they need a light on social media these days to help them. They need somebody to be courageous enough to say, hey, like, I'm stepping out of the box. Just because you're a nurse, a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, doesn't mean that you can't make health at the least a hobby, but at the most a side hustle and a real business opportunity. And we have tons of student loans, my husband and I, from law school. And I really doubted if the income could make a difference in our budget. And you might be, we're going to talk about income a little later, but you may be thinking the same thing. And when I took Dave Ramsey's course, he said to get a side hustle of delivering pizzas. And look, like, I love pizza, but I would much rather have a health routine and connect other people to the resources I use that work for me, as that double layer of accountability, than getting in a car and delivering pizzas at night any day. And we bring in, once you get started, you'll see the levels of income, and we don't guarantee any. It relates to your level of work and what you put in. But I have found that this has given me so much more flexibility in our budget, because we're trying to take one of our salaries to pay down debt for student loans, and the other to live off of. So coaching allows that fun money, those things that you think maybe you can't afford. It's covered beach chairs on the beach, groceries, bills here and there. So just things that create some flexibility. And then the last objection that I kind of had before I signed up was, I don't have a following, kind of like Rachel said. And we have so much training and so many tips and tricks to help you share in the coolest way, that people are just going to appreciate connecting with you. They're going to appreciate what you have to offer, and you're going to find your space in the world, because everybody here has a purpose that the Lord's given them. And becoming a coach has just shown me how we can complement each other, build each other up, and be a light in a place, the world today, which can be very negative. So it's been very refreshing. And every doubt I had was completely smashed within the first couple of months when I saw the personal changes in my life. Okay, I think now I'm throwing over to Megan.
Brittany's gonna go, but I will say I've heard a lot of Dave Ramsey things over the years. I never heard the whole delivering pizzas and what, I mean, I love pizza and appreciate the pizza delivery person that brings it to my door, but little kids at home, rest assured, I don't want to be out delivering pizzas on a Friday night. So I really like that analogy. Brittany is gonna speak next.
Okay.
That was so good.
Hello. I'm gonna try to not be long-winded as I share my story. But I've been a coach for a little over 3 years, and Megan actually invited me 4 years before I became a coach. And I wanted to share that to say that, she invited me because I was doing an insanity program. This is my first introduction to Beachbody. I was doing an insanity program, and she saw I was doing it, and she invited me, and she just kind of word vomited on me. And I was like, no, and not because of the word vomit, but more so because at that point in my life, it wasn't right for me. Home workout programs were not right for me. So fast forward 4 years later, I had just had a child. I was trying to get back into the gym. I was struggling so bad to get back into the gym. Daycare costs were more than we anticipated. And so I just kept seeing Megan show up on my feed. Like, I'm a coach. This is what I'm doing. I'm getting great results. I'm happy. I'm going on trips. And I'm like, I need to see what this is about because I need this in my life. I need some extra money. I need to be happier because I was feeling lost as a new mom. Um, I need some accountability, right? So I reached out to her and I said, hey, I want to join. Just send me the information. And I think I signed up as a coach like within that week. It didn't take long because I had already been seeing her. She had already been convincing me over a 4-year period. And so I say that to say that, if you all decide to join and be a coach, you may encounter people who, give you a lot of no's, and that's okay because sometimes people are just not at the place in their life where it's a right solution for them. And you just have to keep being there. You have to keep being a light until it is the right solution for them. And if Megan had not continued to share her story, like she never invited me again, but I still saw her. And if I hadn't continued to see her, I wouldn't have thought of her when it was right for me. Right. So that's why we keep showing up every day because we want to be there for that person that it's right for. So anyway, I signed up as a coach immediately. And I signed up as a coach immediately because I wanted that extra accountability for myself because I wasn't sure that I could do home workout programs without the accountability. Now, yes, we do get the boot camps if you're just a client. But as a coach, it's like if I'm going to tell people I'm going to be a coach, then I better show up and be a coach. So I signed up immediately. And I had no experience, as a coach or social media or anything like that. And one of my worries was that I wouldn't be able to I'm like, how am I going to find people to join me? But thankfully, Beachbody gives us those tools. We get the trainings that we need to learn how to connect with people, how to build relationships with people, how to find our people, because we don't just want anybody. We want people that we can connect to and that we can build with and we can grow with. And so I was happy to learn that, Beachbody provides those tools for us. So I am a wife of 10 years this year, a mom of 2. I just had another baby. My son is 9 months. So I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 9-month-old son. And so I'm really busy. I also work full time for Point Park University. And so I do a lot of things. And I continue to show up as a coach because this job is the only job I've had that pours back into me in such a great way, right? So as a coach, the first thing, like you'll get a checklist. These are the things we want you to do every day as a coach to move your business forward. The first thing on the list is do your workout. The second thing is drink your superfoods, right? So we're working out. We are fueling ourselves. Personal development. We're taking care of our mind, our mental. And so I keep showing up every day because it makes me feel good. It's a selfish reason. It makes me feel good. I feel good. So even if I never had any customers, being a coach still makes me feel good. Also, I said I just had another child. My 9-month-old son is in daycare. And I shared this on my stories yesterday. I don't know if there's anyone on here that I invited, but we just got another notification that daycare fees are going up again. Like, what? So that's another reason why I keep showing up because, again, the disclaimer that there's no guarantee of your income, but I have the ability to work a little bit more in my business. I have the ability to show up more. I have the ability to invite more people and to help connect them to these resources that we have. And by me having a positive impact in their life, I have the ability to grow my income, which can go towards these outrageous daycare fees. Okay. So, that's another reason why I continue to show up. I show up because it's good for me physically and mentally. I show up because yes, we do need the extra income especially with the daycare. I also continue to show up because I have huge goals. I've seen Megan, I've seen Rachel, I've seen other leaders within our organization, and I've seen what this income has done for them. And my goal is to move towards that. You know, a few weeks ago, I went into kind of my coaching, the coaching website, and I was able to see how much money I've made over the last 3 years as a coach. And I'm like, this has been a significant financial impact on my life. If I didn't have this, if I hadn't started coaching 3 years ago, you know, I don't know what I would do right now. I'd be out delivering pizzas, okay? Because like we would need extra money to cover the daycare. And it's like, where would I find time to go get another job? Again, a wife, 2 kids. I have other responsibilities. Like, where would I have time to go and punch a clock somewhere else and have to report to a boss and be somewhere at a specific time period? I don't have that time in my life. But Beachbody has allowed me the flexibility to work when I want to work. My daughter is taking a bath and she's playing, she's very self-sufficient. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna invite some people for these 15 minutes that she's in the bath. Okay. So I can do that on my own time. So those are the reasons why I keep showing up. And also, another reason is that Beachbody also just gives us rewards. They give us stuff just for meeting certain, benchmarks. And so one of the things that I was able to earn this year was a trip. And so I was able to earn that with my hard work, with my, impacting other people. I was able to earn a trip, to Punta Cana. And so I love free stuff, y'all. I love it. Tell me, what am I going to win? Okay. Yes. Thank you. So, I think that's all I wanted to share. I didn't take any notes because I'm out here. I had to leave my house because I needed a mom break. So I'm in my car. Again, you can work your business from anywhere. I'm sitting here working my business in my car, so that's another thing. So I think I'm done. That's all I wanted to share. So I
I
think
love
I'm gonna
it,
pop it over to
Brittany.
Megan.
Oh, I love it. And I'll tell you what, there's so many things I could say right now. Like listening to Rachel, I can relate to so many pieces of her story. Hearing Shannon, I'm like, my wheels start turning. Oh, I want to tell you guys this. And then I hear Brittany and I'm like, oh, I want to tell them this. And here's the deal. I purposefully don't want to keep this call. I don't want it to get too long because I want this to be a resource that you guys can listen to and that you can share with people who are interested in this opportunity and let them see what is possible, what they can get from this, who this is for. And I hope you can gather from this is for the person who wants to have a purpose bigger than what they're working with right now. The person who wants to create an income without delivering pizzas. The person who wants to create that freedom and time with the flexibility of a job that can be worked in your car, no matter, what other responsibilities you have on your plate. So I'm going to do my best to keep it under my time goal, but I also wanted to let you know, if you do have questions, please put them in the chat. We can answer them at the end. And Rachel, you are so true. Pizza delivery guys are going to have a whole new space of purpose in my life moving forward. But real quick, my name is Megan Blinka, and I'm so excited to be able to talk to you guys tonight. I feel like the OG here. I have been coaching for almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years next month on that cold February night that I stood in my my bedroom and handed my iPhone 4 to my husband. And I was like, take these before pictures because my coach is going to kick me out of my boot camp that I don't even want to be in, but she made me join. Just take these pictures and I have to email them to her. And I was so unhappy. And my coach will tell you that she actually never invited me to join her boot camp or to be part of her team because she never thought that I needed anything. Because the outside, it looked like I had everything all together. From the outside, it didn't look like, I wasn't overweight. I was a whopping 121 pounds when I got started. I am heavier now, 10 pounds heavier now than the day I signed up as a coach, because it wasn't just about what I was going to get physically from that boot camp. Although my life needed a whole big health change, it was about the mental shift that needed to happen. And it was about the community that I was about to surround myself with. So the little backstory is in February, 8 years ago, that little boy who you saw come in here and wrap his arms around me and give me a kiss on the cheek, that's my baby boy, Colton. That is the baby boy that was in my belly when I decided I could not return to work. I could not go through a maternity leave and return to a corporate career that put me leaving the house 12, 14, 16 hours a day. So when he became a part of our lives, I left my career, a really successful career as a CPA, working for a Big Four accounting firm, quite frankly, making a good bit of money. And I don't even have to put the disclaimer on that one because that one is a public salary you could go and find. I had a really good job, but I wasn't home to raise my babies and I hated it and I was miserable. So I said goodbye to that chapter of my life when my little boy arrived, and I wanted to be able to be home with my daughter, who was almost 2 at the time, who quite frankly, I missed most of the first 2 years of her life. She's out in the living room right now, and she knows that part of it. And she knows that every time I say that, I start to cry because I truly missed the first 2 years of her life. And I didn't want to do it anymore. So when my son came, I had it all figured out. The CPA and me made a really pretty spreadsheet, and I figured out exactly how much my husband brought in. We sold my car. I sold a whole bunch of things to make up for all the other, like I sold off every unnecessary item. We sold my car. My husband, bless his heart, 6'2", drove this little HHR vehicle from his work. I took over his old car. We shifted everything so that I could be home. So I could be home to raise these babies. And it was a dream come true until I realized that being a stay-at-home mom is really freaking hard. Yes, I was home with them, but I was also drowning in a baby that didn't nap, and an infant that threw up every single meal he ate. I was, my husband would come home from work. He'd be like, "What'd you do today?" And I'm like, "I have no idea, but I need you to take the kids and I got to go to Target." But the problem was when I went to Target, we didn't have any money, because that really pretty spreadsheet that I made back whenever we figured I would leave my career didn't take into account for any unexpected things. That February, right before I got started with Beachbody, my son ended up admitted to the hospital. He had gotten really sick. I took him to the doctor. They brushed it off, said, "Take him home. It's just a virus. He'll get over it." And the next day he looked really sick, like really sick. So I went back into the hospital, or back into our doctor's office. And the doctor looks at me and he's like, "Was he this sick yesterday?" I said, "He was." And the doctor I saw yesterday sent me home, and he's like, "Hold on a minute." And he left and he came back and he said, "Is there somebody who can pick up your daughter? You're going to the ER. I have an ambulance on the way." And I was like, what the what? Like, I'm holding my 8-month-old baby boy in my arms. He's extremely sick and we're on our way to the ambulance. I held him on my chest the whole ambulance drive into the city, thinking like, what in the world is about to happen? That night in the hospital, he got admitted. He had pneumonia, he had a double ear infection, he had bronchiolitis, and he was a very sick little boy. Naturally, as any mama who would sit beside their sick little boy, I sure as heck wasn't sleeping. So with one hand on him, I sat with my phone, scrolling on the other. I didn't ever dare message anybody or comment on anything, but that's when the good old 21-day fix was coming out. February 2014. I saw it. I messaged this girl who had been a coach now for a year, who I saw all happy and fluttering on social media. And I messaged her about it. It was 1:00 in the morning, and bless her heart, she responded back to me. And her and I went back and forth on Facebook Messenger. And long story short, I signed up with the 21-day fix, holding my son's hand in Children's Hospital 8 years ago. I obviously don't ever want him to have been sick, nor do I want him to get sick again. But I always wonder, would that have happened? I certainly wouldn't have been scrolling my phone at 1:00 in the morning with an infant's hand in a hospital bed if it didn't. But that was what helped me open my eyes that health really matters, guys, that your health matters. And without your health, you have nothing. And that was the very first step I took to better my own health, my own self, that then led to joining her boot camp. On day 16 of that boot camp, I signed up as a coach because I saw the people that I surrounded myself with. I saw how powerful it was that when I listened to what she told me to do, which was lean into the group, share your day, do your workout, follow your meal plan, share it at the end of the day in the group. When I followed those things she told me to do, I had success. I saw success with my fitness journey. I actually posted them on Instagram yesterday, my very first round of 21-day fix pictures. That was whenever everything changed for me. So I took the same approach when I joined her team. I initially was like, I just need a discount. I just need a discount. But at the same time, we were barely making ends meet. I've poorly projected everything, all the unexpected things that came up, the hospital bills that were about to roll in from this lovely 2-night hospital stay in Children's. And I signed up as a coach thinking, okay, well, I really like these products, and maybe I could just make enough money to cover my Shakeology. Maybe I could just make enough, and it just kept building. But in the same way, I plugged into her challenge group and I linked arms with her and I did what she told me to do. I did the same when I joined her team as a coach. She told me what to do. The guidelines were there. She said, you're gonna do your workouts. You're gonna post on social media every day. You're gonna invite other people to be a part of this. You're gonna consistently show up. And I did. I showed up for my fitness journey and I showed up for my business. And 8 years later, I can tell you that my life is a complete 360 from where it was way back then. And about 3 months after that hospital stay in February, come May, when those hospital bills came in, I will never forget opening them and looking at my husband and being like, like mic drop. I can pay these. The person who hadn't had a job for over a year, who couldn't have paid for anything else, I could pay for them now because I started my own business, because I took control of something that was out of my control and I turned things around. I can't stress enough the importance of listening to your heart. That if you're here listening to this, that there's something in you that felt that maybe I should, tune in. Maybe I should share this with somebody. Maybe I should invite somebody to join it, to be a part of it. But I can tell you that this business forever changed my life. We all have said little caveats of there's no guarantee financial income, there's no guarantee, but I can tell you that the way this business works, it is business. Like, yes, there are some network marketing bad raps out there. There's some, bad taste in people's mouths. I never had it. This was my very first exposure to a network marketing company, and I've loved it. I have no complaints. But for someone who might be a little bit more skeptical, the way that we earn income in this business is straight up, you get a commission off the products you sell, right? So somebody buys something from you, you earn a commission back. Just in the same way that when Target sells you something, Target earns a piece of that. When you go and buy something from your girlfriend's boutique in the little downtown shop, wherever you live, she earns something. Some of that goes to what she paid for it, and some of it goes to her pocket. When people buy things from us, we earn a commission from that. That is the one way that you earn. And as you grow a team, I see Holly on here. So Holly says, okay, Megan, I love what you said. I'm signing up to be a coach right now. I would earn a commission off her very first purchase. After your coach signs up, you don't earn commission off of their purchases. What you earn is volume. And that volume is, if you hear people talk about residual income, the long-term income, the cycle bonuses that your team generates. So those are the two main aspects. You have customers who come in, they buy something from you, they like it, they come back, they buy something else. And every time that happens, you earn a commission. From a volume or from a coach standpoint, when a coach joins, you earn an initial sign-on bonus when they join with you on the team. And then after that, you don't earn income off of your coach's purchases, you earn volume. Your coach earns income off of their customers' purchases, but I don't get anything from my coaches. So that's kind of how it works. Super, super high level. I don't want this to be all about income. If you're super curious about income, we do have more in-depth videos that we can share with you to go more about it. But I just want you to understand that what you make is what you make based off the people who you bring in. As your team grows and builds in that way, you then would benefit as a direct result of that. But I know that whenever I catch myself regularly, especially this time of year, it's January. February is the month that I had, first kind of scrolled and started to question my coach about starting with 21 Day Fix. I started in February, ended in March. March 10th, I believe, is the date that I signed up as a coach. So as this time of year happens, I understand the thoughts that go through your mind. I understand the thoughts and the concerns and the questions and the what ifs. And I know that I felt that urge, that this was something that I had to do. And in the beginning, I just said, I'm going to do it for 1 year. I'm going to give everything I have, everything in my heart for 12 solid months. And if at the end of those 52 weeks, I'm not happy with where I am, it'll be 1 year that I became healthier, little happier, and met some really cool people. But if it's business isn't for me, it's not for me. And of course, that 1 year mark came, and I remember my coach giggling as she was like, so what do you think you're going to do? I was like, oh my God, I'm not going anywhere. This business has changed everything about me as a person. I mean, I have a bookshelf that I can see right here with 100 books on it. Guys, I didn't read a book other than a CPA prep course or a college book. I didn't read a book for pleasure until I was 7, 8 years old, and I started coaching. That was the first time I read a book. And now I have a library of books because I've become a new person, because I've begun to love personal growth and personal development. And the things that I've learned through this business trickle down to my family, trickle down to my kids. They trickle down to how I parent, how I wife, how I mentor my team. And I can tell you that everyone else does the same, that we all are excited to grow and share this opportunity. I really look at it as a gift, that the day that I saw my coach post about this group, about her boot camps, about the business opportunity, about joining her team, that she offered me a gift. And it's a gift that I got to receive. And it's a gift that I still get to pay forward every time that I have an opportunity to speak and share on social media. So that is our end of our call. I kept it pretty close to our 30-minute goal. If you guys have questions for anyone, feel free to put it in the chat. If you want to know more in depth about the income side, like I said, I didn't want this to go fully into how we earn, but we have more videos on that. But if there's no other questions, we'll let you go. I know I, for one, have 2 little kiddos who are waiting for me to go tuck them in, and that's how this business works. done in the cracks of mom time. All right. Thanks for joining, everyone. I'll get this recording out. Have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.